Ever feel like you're just drowning in information? I mean, it's coming at us from everywhere, right? Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dive into the world of data analytics, and the goal is to show you how to find that one clear signal in all of that noise.
And to guide us on this little journey, we're pulling our key ideas from the book, A General Introduction to Data Analytics. We're going to break down some of its core concepts to give you a really solid, clear foundation.
Is so true, isn't it? We are all swimming in a massive ocean of data. Every single time you post a comment, upload a photo, or even just use a map on your phone, bam, you're adding another drop to this gigantic digital sea.
Now, to really put this into perspective, get this. An estimate from way back in 2012 suggested the world's data was doubling. Not every decade, not every 5 years, every single year. Can you even begin to imagine the speed of that growth today? It's incredible. And this acceleration is exactly what we call the data explosion.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with this data overload problem. Then we'll get into the science of actually making sense of it all. We'll explore the difference between big and small data, break down what a data set really is, and finally, see how all these pieces come together to create real-world knowledge.
So first step, let's tackle this whole drowning in data idea head on and really get a handle on what this data explosion means for us.
So where is it all even coming from? Well, the short answer is, everywhere. Seriously. From the reviews you write online, every credit card transaction, to the data that's being collected by sensors and cameras all the time. It's all this massive source of potential insight just waiting to be tapped into.
So with all this data being created, the huge question is, how do we find what's actually useful? And that, my friends, brings us to the science of sense-making itself, data analytics.
So what is analytics anyway? The book defines it really simply as the science of analyzing raw data to pull out useful knowledge and find patterns. In short, it's how we turn all that chaotic noise into a nice, clear signal.
You know, analytics isn't some isolated thing. It's part of a bigger family of fields you probably heard of, like machine learning and data science. And while they all have their own unique methods, they're all basically on the same mission, to find that meaningful knowledge that's hidden inside data. But here's something really important to remember. Not all data is created equal. One of the most important distinctions is just plain old size, which brings us to the concepts of big data versus small data.
So on one side, you have big data. Think massive data sets that need huge amounts of computing power just to find broad connections, like what millions of customers tend to buy together. Then on the other side, you've got small data. This stuff is more personal, it's manageable, and it helps us understand the why, the actual cause behind an individual's choices.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture. Now, let's kind of look under the hood. It's time to explore the anatomy of a data set and see what it's actually made of.
So when we keep talking about data, what does it actually look like? You might be picturing these complex lines of code or, abstract numbers just floating around in cyberspace. But really, more often than not, structured data looks just like this. A simple table. It's a format we all understand, right? Just organized into rows and columns. And it's a whole lot less intimidating than you might think.
Now, in data analytics, each row in a table is called an instance or an object. So Andrew is one instance, Bernhardt is another, and so on. Just think of it as one complete record or a single example.
And the columns? Well, those are the attributes or features. They're the characteristics of each instance. So in this case, age and company are attributes. A simple way to think of it is, if the instances are the who, then the attributes are the what that describes them.
So now that we have the basic building blocks, these instances and attributes, we can see how it all comes together. And this final step is the most important one, turning that simple data into powerful knowledge.
There's a quote from the book's preface that really captures the spirit of this moment perfectly. It says, "We can extract more information from data than ever before and benefit more from it." Just understanding these simple concepts is your very first step to being a part of that. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What stories are hidden in the data that's all around you? In your own life, at your work, in your community? Those patterns are out there, just waiting to be discovered.